is a specific kind of quiet that comes over you. When you look at your life, really look at it, and feel like somehow you ended up somewhere you never meant to be. Maybe you are doing all the right things. You show up, you work, you push through. But underneath all of it, there is this low, persistent hum, a question you keep almost asking and then burying again. Is this it? If that question has found you, welcome. This video is for you, not for the version of you that has it all figured out, but for the one sitting right here, right now, wondering what comes next. And I want to start by telling you something I genuinely mean. Feeling lost is not the problem. Feeling lost is the beginning. We have been sold a particular story about purpose, that it is something you find, like a hidden room in your own house, if you just look hard enough. That one day you will turn a corner and it will all click. That story is beautiful, and it has also kept a lot of people frozen, waiting for a clarity that never comes in the way they imagined. Here is what I think is closer to the truth. Purpose is not a destination. It is a direction. Think about a compass. It does not tell you exactly where the road ends. It just shows you north. And north is enough. North is everything, because it gets you moving. You do not need the full map. You do not need to know what Year 5 looks like, or what the title on your door will say. You just need to ask one question honestly. Which way feels true? That feeling, not certainty, not confidence, just that quiet pull, that is purpose speaking. You have been waiting for it to shout, but purpose almost always whispers. Let me ask you something. When your phone's GPS reroutes, when it says recalculating, do you see that as a failure of the GPS? Of course not. It is just doing its job. It saw where you are, compared it to where you want to go, and started finding a better path. That restless, uncomfortable feeling of being lost, that is your inner GPS doing exactly the same thing. It is not punishing you. It is recalibrating you. The people who never feel lost are not necessarily found. They have often just stopped questioning. And there is a difference between peace and numbness. Feeling the discomfort means you still care. It means some part of you knows you were made for something real, something meaningful, and it refuses to let you settle. That refusal is not your enemy. That refusal is your greatest ally. Here is something most purpose advice never touches, and I think it is one of the most useful things I can tell you. Your resentments know your purpose better than your resume does. Think about what genuinely angers you. Not minor inconveniences. I mean the things that light a fire in you. The injustices that make you clench your jaw. The things you see in the world and think, someone should do something about that. That anger is pointing at something. If it breaks your heart when talented people give up on themselves, maybe your purpose is in building people up. If it infuriates you when children go without education, maybe your work has always been about access and equity. If you cannot stand watching people be deceived, maybe your purpose lives in truth-telling, in transparency, in honest communication. Anger, real anger, is often just love with nowhere to go yet. So instead of asking, what am I passionate about? Ask yourself, what injustice do I find genuinely unbearable? The answer to that question will tell you more about your purpose than any personality quiz ever could. There is a question that well-meaning people ask constantly. Career counselors, life coaches, even people who love you. And I want to gently challenge it. The question is, what do you want to do with your life? The problem with that question is that the what changes constantly. The job that seemed like the dream 5 years ago might feel hollow today. The career you have built can be made obsolete overnight. The industry shifts, the market shifts, you shift. But here is what does not shift as easily: who you are choosing to become. When you start asking, who do I want to be in the world, the answers are more durable. Someone who creates things that move people. Someone who builds trust wherever they go. Someone who leaves a room more hopeful than they found it. Someone who tells the truth even when it costs something. Those are identity statements, and purpose flows naturally from identity, like water finding a downhill path. You do not need to know the exact job. Build the character. The path will find you. We love the idea of a breakthrough moment, the vision that hits you in the shower, the conversation that changes everything, the trip that rewires your soul. And yes, those moments are real, but they are not where purpose is built. Purpose is built in the ordinary Tuesday, in the thing you do before anyone is watching, in the small act you return to again and again, not because it has paid off yet, but because it feels right in a way you cannot quite explain. A writer who writes 1 page a day does not feel like they are building anything. But at the end of a year, they have a book. A person who encourages 1 friend a day does not feel like a leader, but over time, they have built a community around them without even trying. You do not need a grand gesture. You need a micro commitment, something small enough to do today, meaningful enough to matter. What is the one thing, if you did it every day for a year, would make you feel like you were finally moving in the right direction? Start there. Just there. I want to speak to something that might be sitting heavy in your chest right now. The sense that you have already lost too much time. That the years you spent going the wrong direction, the career that did not work out, the relationship that cost you everything, the decade you spent just trying to survive, that those years are a debt you will never pay back. I need you to hear me on this. They were not wasted. Not one of them. The job you hated taught you exactly the kind of work you refused to do with your life. The relationship that broke you taught you what love actually requires. The dark season where you barely held on, that is where you found out what you are made of. Every single detour was gathering material. Your story is not behind schedule. Your story is being written by someone who knows that the best chapters often come after the hardest ones. There is no version of your life where the past was a waste, because you are still here, still searching, still asking the question. And that is not nothing. That is everything. I want to close with this. Finding your purpose is not about having one perfect answer. It is about becoming the kind of person who is always moving towards something true, something real, something that matters to you and to the world around you. Purpose is not a prize. It is a practice. And you do not have to have it all figured out today. You just have to take one honest step today. I want to ask you something before you go. In the comments, just leave one word that describes where you are right now. Lost, searching, hopeful, tired, curious. Whatever it is, be honest, because someone else is going to read that word and feel less alone. If this conversation meant something to you, stay with us here on Soul Fuel. We are building something real, a space where we talk honestly about the things that actually matter. You are not lost. You